Hey guys, so we are gonna do an entire video of our vehicle, a complete walk around, something that we've been asked for quite a while. It's been coming for the last 2 years or so. We've done quite a few videos of different things that we've done to the vehicle, but nothing that covers the entire thing. So I've got a bunch of questions that I got on Instagram that people asked me and that you guys actually sent through, and so I'm going to try and answer those and then just show you what we've got, what's old, what's new, what we're going to do in the future, and yeah, let's get going. The first thing that I'm going to show you guys is the rock sliders. It's part of the bumpers and the dash plate that we've got. But I'll show you the rock sliders for now. It's also in a separate video that just showcases that specifically. But I got this from Wild Dog 4x4. It was installed about 6 months ago or so. It's been on quite a few trips. You can see this one took quite a knock. Which is exactly what it's supposed to do. It protected my vehicle. I'm super happy with it. It's a small company, young company up in Pretoria that manufactures it locally, and yeah, they do it for most of the vehicles, the most popular vehicles that you get. They're also certified, airbag certified, which makes it very nice. So I'm very happy. I got about 3 months or so ago was the tires. It was something that I've been wanting to get for quite a while because I had Goodyear Wranglers on for 120,000 kilometers. They were good, no issues, didn't really get any punctures on them, but they just weren't the type of tire that we needed for what we actually do, which is a nice extreme or more rugged tire that this is. So these are General Tires Grabber X3s. It's a mud terrain tire. They work extremely well for what we do. We've had them out in a couple of trips to the Cedarburg. We've gone to the West Coast with them, and they work really well. One of the plus points, if you want to call it that, is the fact that they are manufactured in South Africa, so the compounds used are more for the South African market, where you get some of the other manufacturers that have compounds that work in snow or whatever the case might be, which we don't get here. So this works quite well for that. So very happy. About 10,000 kilometers on them now. We'll give them a proper test next year when we go to Botswana in March again. Frontrunner Easy Out 2-meter awning, I actually bought secondhand. It also illustrates that you don't need to go and buy everything brand new. Got it for nice and cheap. I was actually looking for it for a while, but I actually specifically wanted this one. It's nice and light. It works as you can see on the footage. It's nice and easy to set up. Covers it, and I've used it in all types of weather. It helps when it's sunny, it helps when it's raining. Just tie it down, and yeah, you get slightly larger ones. I would have loved to get a 270 awning, but the issue is with the Fortuner, the back flap gets in the way. You'll need to mount the 270 awning really high to actually put one on. So the reason I can't put a 270 awning on is because the arm that extends over this side needs to go above this, and that means this fitting needs to sit all the way up there. The main arm fitting needs to go and sit all the way up there, which just makes it super high, and it's already a big unit because it goes all the way to about where my mirror sits. And yeah, so what we're planning on doing is just to get something that comes all the way out to about here, and then just have a leg on that side. Then at least I've got some more space. Another thing that actually started this whole process, or this whole thing for us, was firstly the vehicle. When I got it, we started going out more and more because it gave us more access. But the other thing was when we got this rooftop tent. Bought it from a friend of my parents for very cheap, and it started the whole thing. Started going out more, it gave us more freedom to actually just park off somewhere, didn't have to pack a whole bunch of bags and things and extra tents to actually just go. And this it actually, yeah, it's been great. This is a Hannibal, it's a 1.4 meter Hannibal tent. They've been around for years. This one I just had the cover replaced because the other cover was really old, it got really hard, and it was also the green color. I like the grey more. I'll show you some footage of what it looks like when it's opened up, but really happy with it. And as I said, it actually changed the way that we go out and what we do and so on. The other thing is it's a front runner roof rack that I've got. It's still a wind cheater. It's quite old, but it works fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The only thing that I've got a bit of an issue is that it's not big enough. I would like one that goes up to about there, and for the simple reason to actually get the jerry cans to stand square with the roof rack so that it actually doesn't catch as much wind. I get a lot of people asking me why I've mounted it in the manner that I have, and that's the simple reason. I can't put the jerry cans inside, and I can't mount them other way. There's not enough space. And if I hang the tent over there, the boot lid gets into the way. So unfortunately at the moment that's the only way I can mount them. So hopefully within the next couple of months I'll get another roof rack and we'll move it forward, and I'll have space to get it The Rockstar, I also got this bumper from Wild Dog 4x4. It came with the actual bash plate that's at the bottom here. I had it installed about 6 months ago, and I'm very, very happy with it. You get the bigger, bulkier ones, like especially the ARB one that's manufactured for this vehicle. It was the same. You actually had to get it retrofitted from the Vigo Hilux to this, and it was super bulky. It comes out to here. It wasn't actually made for this vehicle, and it doesn't look nice. Where this is nice fitting, it's not too big and bulky. It comes with the two Hella spotlights, which is super bright, and yeah, I'm very happy with it. It comes standard with the recovery points, where some of the other vehicles ones you need to go and get recovery points after the fact, because you can't fit actual recovery points to this vehicle without actual bull bar, so that makes it much nicer. I don't have a winch at the moment. It does have space for a winch. I'll decide if I want to get one. As I've stated in the video that I did on the bumpers itself, I'm about 50-50. It's an expensive and heavy thing, so I'll see. I'm getting some spotlights put in within the next 2 weeks. I'll do a separate video on that. It's a bit of a surprise what we're going to do. The other thing on this bumper, it's also it's airbag certified, which makes it quite nice. They actually did the whole certification in Australia, and there are some of the local manufacturers that's not airbag certified, where this is, which is just obviously a quite nice selling point. Well, that's about it. Got the vehicle, it came with Old Man Emo suspension on it. I had the vehicle for about a year and a half with that suspension on, but it was really shot. I had it replaced in the beginning of the year with the same Old Man Emo suspension. I've got, it's just the standard, it's the shocks in front and then the coils and shocks in the back. They work completely fine. I don't necessarily have a reference for what Ironman ones or Dobson ones or whatever would be like. So I mean, I'm happy with them, but I don't necessarily know what the others would be like. The one thing that I can say is at the back, apparently the highest constant weight that you can get for this vehicle is 200 kilograms at the back, which is not enough. So currently I've got especially when I'm loaded up, the vehicle's got a bit of a slant to the back because of that. I am currently looking at either airbags in the back, or to get the actual coils replaced and get either custom coils made up or a different brand or something with a higher constant weight, so that I don't get that slant, especially when we've done quite heavy terrain with a lot of sand and a lot of dips between, like, where was it, between Sinyati and Linyati. It was quite heavy going through those little dips and it hitting onto the bump stop all the time. So I want to try and get away from that. So it's something I'm currently working on to get those coils replaced. But other than that, I mean, they are good. Everyone knows they're good suspension. So I'm fairly happy with what I've got at the moment. So this is the 4-liter V6. It is a bit heavy on petrol, or on fuel, but I'm very happy with it. The power is awesome. It's a super reliable engine. It's the same motor that you get in the Land Cruisers, the same one that's got in the Prado. It's the same engine that goes in the FJ Cruisers. So it's tried and tested. I've never had issues. The car's got about 270,000 kilometers on it. Minor little things, but nothing major. The engine runs like a charm. What I wanted to show in here was an air compressor that's built in. It's an old ARB one. The motor runs from in front. I've got the switch that runs to the front there. I just plug in the hose this side, and I could use it all around the vehicle. It's not the most powerful one, but it's super nice and convenient. I don't need to store it in the vehicle somewhere and take up extra space. It's in there. It works, yeah, very happy with it. The other thing is, you can see most of the wiring is quite new in the vehicle, as well as this battery terminal and all of that. I had all of it replaced in the beginning of the year. Again, I had the National Luna one in the vehicle, but it was really old. It wasn't done properly initially when I bought the vehicle, so I had all of it redone. So I've got a deep cycle battery there with National Luna solenoid that just runs my fridge and some of my lights and so on in the back. I'll probably I'll look at getting some inverter with solar panels at some stage, but I can't see the need for it at the moment. We can do about a weekend without having to turn my vehicle on or recharge. We use my fridge, use the lights without any issues. So it's not that often that we stand for more than 2 days at one spot. So at this stage, I'm very happy with it. This is a Blue Ridge Overland Gear tire storage bag. We normally use it either for garbage, or currently I have my grid in it. Just the dirty stuff basically. So there's my bra equipment's in there at the moment. It takes a massive black bag. Works great. It's got a little hole at the bottom so you don't get any dirt, any water and stuff that stays in there. And yeah. So getting to the back of the vehicle, I bought it with the swing arm attached. The reason the swing arm was attached was because there's an additional fuel tank at the bottom. These 2006 models came with, I think it's a 60-liter tank standard, and which is super small, especially specifically on the 4 liter. So a lot of people did this conversion where they put the extra fuel tank at the bottom and then the swing arm. There's on the later versions you could get a smaller fuel tank, because the standard one was slightly larger and you could still mount the wheel at the bottom, but this one it wasn't possible. However, I'm actually don't have any problem with it. It gives me additional mileage on the vehicle, as well as the swing arm is super useful. I mean, I've got this front runner table that I've mounted to it. It's actually the Jeep Wrangler one, but it fits perfectly on this. Actually, I had to make no modifications. I just drilled the holes and put it up. Use it a lot because the fridge is in the vehicle on that side. We either use it to put the kettle, or we put all our coffee stuff, or in the evenings it's essentially our bar. Works very nice, and yeah. Okay. Then getting to the inside, I've got an Outback drawer system, 2 drawers, and my fridge on this side. Normally I put my ammo crates in here. It can fit 4 ammo crates. When we go on longer trips, we don't do any bags, so we put all our clothing in ammo crates as well. So it's a camera crate, 2 clothing crates, and then just some miscellaneous stuff. And we do all our food underneath the kitchen, underneath the fridge. When we go on longer trips, and this also just slides out so that you can get to it quite easily. I replaced the hinges on the fridge, so this comes off, so that's no issue with getting in there. I am looking at potentially dropping the fridge down on this slide, putting it on a level there, because it's just easier to access, and then adding a drawer on top here, which would just make it more accessible. It is sometimes, specifically when you're on an angle, to get into the fridge is an issue. This is a National Luna 72 liter fridge. Had it for ages, works 100% fine. I did, however, test the Snowmaster fridge on our last trip, a 65 liter Snowmaster fridge, and it used way less energy. That was my only, because this one's quite old. I suspect the technology is just newer in the Snowmaster unit, and it actually used a lot less energy. We are busy looking at a Snowmaster fridge. You get some of them, they call it low profile fridges, where it's a little bit longer, but it's comes about there. It's about, I think, 15 centimeters lower, which gives me more space looking out, and it's just also makes it easier to get into the fridge. So getting to the inside of the vehicle, or more specifically the first row where the seats used to be, I did a whole video, or a couple of videos actually, I think there's 3 of them, of the whole process of putting these in, building them, making the whole thing. So you can go back, I'll put the links below, you can actually go back and watch the whole process. But this is what the finished product looks like. It's just an extension of the drawer system at the back. I specifically made it the same height as the drawer system, so you've got a flat space to work with. It's 2 separate boxes, one on this side and one on that side. I've made it lockable as well, so that firstly I can actually keep stuff in here permanently, so my recovery gear and stuff is in here, and that side I can lock camera equipment or whatever, laptops or whatever, because it's a station wagon, stuff's actually open, so it's nice to actually lock it. In here I've got my axe, my little shovel, and then I've got my tool bag, my drill, my recovery gear. There's a first aid kit, triangle, my in-deflate for when I have to obviously in-deflate my tires. And yeah, they work great. It's one of the better additions I've added to my vehicle. The only thing is, obviously, people can't have more people come with us, but that can very seldomly happen. So on the inside, actually, there's not that much. We've got Melvin and Moon seat covers. These have been here for about 2.5 years. They last. They are super good. Most people know them quite well, and I like them. They last. The previous set we've had lasted forever. So that's the seat covers. This is Escape Gear. Melvin and Moon doesn't make them. Escape Gear also makes good seat covers. Just personal preference. We bought these. Just extra stuff we store in there. I normally have my chargers and all of that there. I've got an ICOM radio, a two-way radio, a VHF radio. Had it installed just before our last trip we did. I had an older one, but it broke, and I had this one installed. Works great. Didn't have any issues. The aerial sits on the outside at the top to get just a little bit better reception. This is the battery monitor for the system on the inside, the dual battery system. Stock standard, nothing too special. But as I said, it does work, and I don't currently require anything more than that. For my GPS, I've got a TomTom GPS built into the unit, which I can use in emergencies. It doesn't have Tracks for Africa. It's not updated to the latest spec. I do have Tracks for Africa on my phone, which on our last trip I used that throughout the whole trip, and it worked 100% fine. Didn't have any issues. So I do have the TomTom as a backup if there's really an emergency, but otherwise I actually just use my phone. I don't have anything fancy. People had like big units with Garmin units. It's probably nice. I didn't need it, and mine worked completely fine. Actually worked better than some of the other people who forgot to update their units and ended up having outdated maps on it. So yeah, that's more or less the inside of the vehicle. So we've come to the end of the video that we wanted to do. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I covered most of what everyone asked, what we wanted to show, all the old modifications and the stuff that I've added onto it in the last while. As you can see, it's always a work in progress. It never ends. It's something that's always ongoing, but the important thing is to make it your own. It's not always necessary to go and buy the most expensive one. It's not always necessary to have all of it. Use what you have, try it out for a few times, and then see what works, and then get what you really need, instead of just buying everything and only end up using 50% of it. At the end of the day, it makes your vehicle heavy. You use more fuel. You don't get, the packing becomes a hassle. So use what you have, see what works, and then go and buy whatever is extra necessary. We will do another update video within the next 6 months to a year to see where we are, if there's any other modifications that we've done. We're planning on doing a couple more. As I mentioned, there's some lights coming, or spotlights coming onto the vehicle. I'm potentially looking at doing the exhaust system at some stage. And then I'll also want to look at doing the airbags at the back of the vehicle, just to help with that slump. But again, thank you very much for watching. As always, please like and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram, where we do our daily posts. And till next time, thank you.